What's up, YouTube? This is Foxtel Digital coming to you again with Black Girl Stocks, and this is another segment of our top 3 option plays this week, where we're just going to go over a few different trades, stock fundamentals, and different strategies that you can do to make it through. Okay, happy daylight savings time. I hope you all enjoy that extra hour of rest. I know I will. All right, but first, if this is your first time watching this video, please make sure that you click that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. Also subscribe and click that notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video for you guys. So a quick recap of last week's plays. We were pretty bullish on plug at 38.27, and we had pretty good movement at the beginning of the week up to 43.48, but then ultimately it kind of started to slow down and we closed at 38.37 on Friday. Now keep in mind they also have an earnings report coming up this Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. And as of Friday, President Joe Biden just signed the infrastructure bill, so hey, energy stocks, okay. All right, so yeah, like I said, let's keep an eye on this and other stocks in that sector. We were also bullish on MSFT, that's Microsoft, at $331.62. Now it moved fairly well. It did reach a high of 338.86 on Friday. You'll kind of see that, well, during after hours, but it kind of started to taper off and it closed down at 336.6 on Friday. So let's keep an eye out for that one. And lastly was eBay. We were pretty bullish on this at 76.72, but the stock didn't really move too much this week. Actually, it dropped a little bit towards the beginning, and then it kind of looks like it's starting to rebound towards the middle of the week, and it ended up closing at 75.76 on Friday. Now, if you recall, we did have a target price of 81.19 at that previous high that the stock reached right before earnings. So let's just kind of see, where we can go with this. Like I said, we still have room to grow, and hopefully we can hit this resistance point again for eBay. All right, now let's get into some of this week's plays. Okay, so the first stock is going to be Love, okay? And I'm not talking about use Love Quinn, honey. This is LUV, and that's Southwest Airlines, trading at 52.23. Now, just kind of looking at this chart and what I'm pretty sure a lot of us have known, the stock has really not been doing so great with, a lot of restrictions with the pandemic that we have going on right now. For the most part of the previous 100 days, it has been trading above the 50-day moving average, but it looks like there might be a little light opening at the end of the tunnel. You did start to see the stock kind of starting to move upwards after a pretty positive, it was a very positive earnings beat of 75 cents per share, 73 cents per share. They're expected to have a negative 26 cents. So it really definitely did some things there. The RSI is steadily moving up. Now it did kind of reach this 78. Our ADX indicator looks great. You kind of see we definitely have more power in the buyer side, and our ADX line right here, what is this at? It's at 30. So hey, looks like we're kind of in a strong trend right now after moving up from that low of 46. And if you see on Friday alone, the stock just went crazy. It went from 48 all the way up to 52. Honestly, that's not bad for an airline stock. Airline stocks don't really move that much. So one catalyst for some of these movements is airlines are preparing for international travel to increase because the US is starting to lower their COVID restrictions. So tomorrow on November 8th, the new travel guidelines that the Biden administration revealed back in September are going to go into effect. And this is essentially going to require all non-US citizen travelers to provide proof of vaccination before boarding. And then all passengers, even including US citizens, they're going to need to test negative for COVID within 3 days of actually leaving. And just as an example of what's predicted in the near future, Delta Airlines has seen a 450% increase in international bookings just recently versus numbers from about a month or so ago. And they expect nothing but full flights in the upcoming months. Full flights, international flights are expensive too. So that's going to be really good for airlines. And you already know how quick technology is. A lot of airline companies have already started to offer tools that make international travel easier with apps during this time. Now, also, Southwest is expected to hire over 5,000 employees by the end of this year, for holiday travel, and then another 8,000 next year with the recent surge in unemployment and cuts during the pandemic. Now, another interesting thing, Southwest also just announced their new CEO, Bob Jordan. Hey, Bob. And he's actually held several different leading positions in the company. Check his resume. The man knows what he's doing. And he's coming in a time of a lot of frustrations with employees. People are very frustrated. Pilots are tired and they're frustrated with the lack of support from the company in the past. And just recently, a pilot was cited for an alleged assault. I'm going to say alleged. An alleged assault on a flight attendant over wearing masks. Come on now. But I'm going to be honest with you, after seeing that Denzel movie, when he was doing all that mess, the pilot was doing that, I don't want to say I'm surprised, but I'm sure being a pilot can be stressful. So clearly everybody is on edge, and so it looks like they're gonna put more emphasis on, you know, more new hires, salary increases. They actually opened a Southwest school, you know, to do more and just offer more. So this is gonna be really good for Southwest. I'm very proud of them for this. Now, investors may be concerned of higher operation margin costs, you know, with more employees coming in and things like that. But at the same time, with the travel restrictions being lifted, Pfizer just announced that it's gonna have a new COVID pill treatment, and with the holiday seasons coming around, we hope to see continued growth in Southwest and other travel investments. So going into next week and then pretty much for the rest of the year, it could continue on this bullish run. So for Southwest, kind of see on Friday we really hit this high at 52.55. I would want to have an entry zone around $53. Of course, that's just going to indicate that that stock is continuing in that trend. You see we have some really strong MACD movement, kind of fell back down to zero. It's looking neutral on this closer time frame. So let's look and see. The RSI looks ready though, it looks cute. But as far as a profit target, I'm gonna set it around 56. Now this was a peak that we had before, you know, a pretty strong downtrend before earnings. So let's get into this. So I'm gonna pick an expiration date of December 3rd. It's just gonna give us, you know, more time to see the stock move in our direction, and we'll have less time decay. I'm gonna do an at the money call. So I'm gonna pick this 52, and it's not too bad. It's about 190. And what I really like about this one is really high volume on the ask versus the bid. The open interest is okay, and the volume it's a little low, but has low implied volatility, high delta, low theta. That's what I look for, okay? Now, the next option play is BABA. That's Alibaba, and right now it's trading at 158.73. And we've talked about this stock several times on the top three. Usually bearish positions because of the strong downtrend that the stock has clearly been in all year, just completely under the 50-day moving average, honey. It's just down, baby, no street. What is it? Like I said, the stock has been in a downtrend over the past year. I actually had a really good run up to about 182 and kind of taper back off to where it is right now. News-wise, for a while, there's been a lot of tightening of control over media in China. And last month, they had proposals to stop private capital from news operations. So this came after concerns in Beijing about the way that Alibaba handled a scandal with one of their executives. And then there's also been rumors of Alibaba selling its holding on SCMP. That's the South China Morning Post. The SCMP is one of the most profitable newspapers in the world. Now, Alibaba has an earnings report scheduled for November 18th. So that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. And a lot of analysts are projecting positive earnings, even with the crackdown from Beijing. It's had a 13% return this month, and a strong earnings report could definitely help to maintain that upward momentum. Going into next week, if we continue to see the stock drop past 156 to 155, I'm gonna be bearish for our option position. And if not, I just wouldn't get into the trade. All right, yeah, they were down $6 on Friday, God. For this particular one, I'm gonna do a far out of the money put option. And the reason why is because the stock is projected to move so much so quickly. Even if we were gonna look at a November 12th, it's expected to move $10 within that time. So because it moves fairly quickly, I'm gonna pick an out of the money put. Now, I don't think I've done that on our top three. Alexis. So yeah, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pick an out of the money put. So I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna pick the 140 put. This one is okay. It's gonna be $259. It's a lot cheaper than paying $700 and $800 and stuff like that. This one does have a higher volume on their ask versus their bid. Has a decent open interest and volume, and it has a fairly neutral implied volatility. The delta's a little bit lower because it's out of the money, but we still stand to make some good profits with this if the stock moves in our favor. All right, and the last stock is going to be QCOM. What is it? Qualcomm, but right now it's trading at 163.03. Now I know you see that. I know you see that uptrend right there. I know you see that. Now I know you see that strong uptrend after their earnings. So they just had an earnings demolish on the 3rd, and they were up 23% last week, and they jumped up $7 alone. For me, honestly, this is going to be another short play, and I say that because over the past few weeks, a lot of stocks and crypto have either reached or are very close to their all-time high. Now, I'm not talking about 52-week high. I'm talking about all-time, ultimate, and that might be very exciting to a lot of investors. That's also going to leave a lot of others uncertain with newer highs, and so they might stay and watch from the sideline. So shares of QCOM were up after their recent earnings beat knocked analyst estimates out of the water, and most of their profits come from the chips that they design for smartphones. And with more models hitting the market ready for 5G networks, they're bringing in big numbers, okay? And people don't mind paying the premium prices. The revenue from smartphones last quarter was over $4 billion alone, and now QCOM is working on diversifying into more business ventures away from just cell phones, and now they're kind of moving into adding laptops, tablets, and even cars to their catalog. Earlier this year, they bought a CPU company, Nuvia, and this looks like this is QCOM's direct response to the new release of Apple's M1 powered laptops. Now, there's a lot of competition going on right now. Before, a lot of companies relied on big chip makers like AMD, Intel, and QCOM for chip technology, but now they're either getting tired, smart, or a combination of both, and they're starting to build their own internal chip design so they don't have to keep relying so much on third-party companies. So yeah, that's why I said this is going to be more of a short-term play to see if we can capitalize on this, the strong uptrend. Look at the MACD line right here. MACD is looking good, even though some of these histograms are kind of starting to move down, so I would kind of be on the lookout for that. But with the ADX indicator, super strong uptrend, and it looks like it could continue. So let's just keep an eye on that. RSI has been oversold since it reached up here. So I guess one could say it's bound to cool off. We're just going to look to go with the trend of what we see. So going into next week, I'm definitely going to be bullish on QCOM, and I want to have an entry position around 164. So if you'll notice on Friday, they went crazy. They hit a high of 168 and it kind of tapered off after that down to 163. So that's why I'm going to have an entry around 164, 165. Once I start to see it move back up in that direction, then hey, it's looking like it's going to continue on that uptrend. Also, we want to see that MACD is really trading kind of close to the center. We want to see that start to move above that, and it is kind of looking neutral, which it usually does on Fridays. And I'm going to have a target price of at least 168, that previous high hit on Friday. But honestly, if it does continue going up, it's probably going to blow through that very quickly. Now for this one, I'm actually going to do a call debit spread. I'm going to pick an expiration date of November 26th, so still bullish, but it's just going to be cheaper than paying $500 or $700. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to buy this 160 strike price, and we can sell the 165. So you'll see here we have our call debit spread. This is only going to cost us $265 to enter this, our premium. Yeah, that's something that you can do with that. All right. Okay. And lastly, I just have one bonus stock that's done amazing this past month. This is AMRC. Amerisco Inc. The renewable energy sector has been up 37% alone this past month, and Joe Biden just signed the infrastructure bill. So a lot of stocks in this sector are probably going to continue to grow. This stock looks like it's going to continue in that uptrend. So it's looking good for it. It's looking really good. So just keep an eye on it. I'm not going to do too much technical analysis on it. Really just wanted to bring it to your attention. Drop that on your lap real quick. Check that out. All right. And make sure that you guys check out this video of in the money versus out of the money options, just so you can get an idea of how each of them move with stock prices and with time. Okay. So I know a lot of people wonder, do you get in the money, out of the money, at the money? Which one? So make sure you check that out. We're going to go over all of that in this video. So that's that pressure right there. Get that pressure. Okay. All right.